Mel Brooks.
Yes.
Like a month ago. And he had some very insightful observations on Mel Brooks. I mean, obviously our goal is in New York. I just moved here from New York.
Yes. My dad and Mel Brooks are best friends. They've been best friends for, 60 years. I mean, since the show of shows. They spend every night, is he coming over tonight, Bob? Yeah, when he gets home, they spend every single night together. Mel comes over, they sit, they have a little dinner, they watch a movie, any movie that has Secure the Perimeter in it. They will watch that movie and other things that they enjoy. And I had the great pleasure one night of being over there when they got into a fight, like the Sunshine Boys, they got into a fight over a bit that Mel Brooks once did on the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson. Mel played the foremost wine expert in the world. And they were arguing about which line got the biggest laugh. And they were screaming at each other. And Mel said, no, it wasn't. And it was the bit. Mel was blindfolded, and Johnny Carson put a glass out, and he was going to guess which way. He took a sip of the wine. He said, it's a red, it's a Bordeaux, it's a 1970. And Johnny says, no, that's not it. He says, all right, it's okay, it's a red, it's a Cabernet, it's a no. And Johnny says, no. He says, all right, wait a minute. It's a white. And I got a big laugh. And then Mel said, that was the biggest laugh. My dad said, no, it was the line after that was the biggest laugh. And the line after that, he says, no, it's not that. And Mel said, oh, I got it. It's
Because it was not the line next to it, it was 3 lines after that. He says, it's not a white wine. And then he did another white wine that's a Chateau. He says, no. He says, and then he took another sip and he says, is it beer? And he says, no, it's not beer. Just a moment. This is the line. He took another sip and he said, is it chiclets?
See, and chiclets got a good laugh, but not as big as the white wine. And they were arguing about it, and Mel said, the white wine was the line that got the biggest laugh. He says, yes, but chiclets is funnier. That man is a wine expert. He couldn't tell the difference between a liquid and a solid. And screaming back and forth at each other. So even to this day, they're arguing about which line got the biggest laugh. Yes.
When we first got to know you was on All in the Family as just in the sitcom. How did you make the transition to a serious director? Because people didn't take you seriously when you were just doing the sitcom.
It's true. When I became a director, in those days, actors and people in television were thought of as second-class citizens by the movie people. There was a big separation. It's not like that. Since then, I mean, you see lots of people coming out of television doing movies, directing, writing, acting in movies. But in those days, you were like a second-class citizen when you were coming out of a sitcom. So it was a hard road for me. It took me many years to be able to get Spinal Tap off the ground because people didn't expect, I'm a sitcom actor, they didn't expect that I could direct anything, but eventually I was able to do it. But it was a very, very tough road, very tough transition, yeah.
When did you get interested in politics?
Well, politics, there were discussions in my household all the time when I was growing up. My father marched in the moratorium during the Vietnam War. My mother was part of a group called Another Mother for Peace. They had that poster, War is Unhealthy for... She came up with the title, Another Mother for Peace. And they had War is Unhealthy for Children and Other Living Things. So there was a lot of political discussions always in my household. To this day, my dad is, very up on politics. He likes to watch the shows to get himself angry. He watches Glenn Beck and O'Reilly and those people together. So he gets really mad when he watches these things. But we have great political discussions, and I've had, it was like I said, in my household all the time. So it was something I was kind of raised with. And Smothers Brothers I worked on when I was 21. Huh? I probably did something to help out. I was funny because I was 21 years old when I wrote for the Smothers. I was the youngest guy on the staff, and Steve Martin and I were put together because we were the 2 youngest. We were writing partners, and I was so naive. I didn't know. I thought, it was cool to be on the show and everything. It was a young guy writing on a big network television show, but I was always thinking that Tommy didn't go far enough. I didn't realize the battles that he had with the networks and the censors and all that stuff. I was kind of naive to not understand how far he had really gone. So I've since then apologized to him I didn't grab him by the ass, but I did yell, "You're coming out! You're coming out!" Anyway, that was a great time. A great, yeah, we really stretched the envelope on that one. Yes?
Did you ever figure that Spinal Tap, when you made it, would become the cult classic that it became?
No, because when we first made Spinal Tap, nobody understood it. I'm going to tell you an interesting story, because we took it down to Texas, in Dallas, and we previewed it, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. People came up to me and they said, "Why would you make a movie about a band that nobody's ever heard of, and a band that's so bad?" And I said, "Well," you know, you ever see Saturday Night Live? It's like a satire. They didn't understand it, and it took many years before people understood it, and you know, that's a very famous thing. Satire closes on Saturday night, and it does take a while. I'll tell you a great story. My friend Albert Brooks, my close friend Albert Brooks, who used to go on the Tonight Show all the time. Yeah, he's a brilliant guy. He went on the Tonight Show once, and he would never even try him out in comedy clubs. He would always just try him out on the air. I mean, the guts that this guy had. He had this idea about a mime artist. He was in white-faced and a leotard and everything, but he just talked throughout the entire thing. Saying, see, look, I'm pulling the rope, but there's not really any rope here. Now look, I'm walking against the wind, you know, there's no wind. And it was really funny, and my dad hosted that episode. Wait, I'm going to say. Yeah.
You invoked Johnny Carson's name. What's the initials there?
J.R. No, J.C.
Now, we know Jesus Christ did not wear a tie.
Or if he did, he didn't give it to him.
Johnny Carson, and in this event, I wore this tie, and I just want to give justice to you.
Johnny was a Malibu guy. Anyway, so my dad had hosted the show. He was substituting for Johnny Carson that night, and that bit, which my dad thought was brilliant, it bombed. It bombed. It went right over the audience's head. Here was a mime guy talking, and they didn't know what the hell was going on. It didn't get one laugh. So now a few weeks goes by, and they call him back, because he had done shows before, they called him back to be on the Tonight Show again. And I said to Albert, because I was rooming with him at the time, I said, "Albert, what bit are you going to do tonight?" He says, "I'm going to do that mime piece." I said, "That mime piece didn't get one laugh." He said, "Yeah, but it's funny." I said, I know it's funny, but nobody laughed, not one person. He says, "Yeah, but Rob, it's really funny." I said, "All right, you know." So now he goes, now Carson was hosting that night. And Carson had never seen this routine, and Albert started the routine, and the same thing. Nobody laughing, but then all of a sudden Carson starts to laugh. And he's laughing uproariously and screaming. He was laughing. I was there that night. He literally fell off his chair. He was laughing hard. The audience picked up on that and realized that this was a joke and that he wasn't really a mime. He was doing it. And the audience started laughing, and by the end of the bit, people were roaring. So luckily, Albert became a hit with that bit in 6 weeks. It took us years before Spinal Tap people caught on to it and figured out what it was. But it takes a while sometimes, yeah.